He was the most stylish killer till now. Before killing his prey, he always chewed a chewing gum. No matter how the situation was, he never left his style. He would easily clean his cane, pick up the weapon and say to the prey hidden in the bathroom, "Now it's time to come out." Then he started kicking the toilet door one by one, and finally broke the fourth door. The DOS sitting inside was shivering with fear. The killer was disappointed to see him. He immediately called his boss and said, "This hunt is very easy. I am not enjoying it. Give me my money back." But then DOS ran away from there. Now a smile came back on the face of the killer. He ran after him with full speed. This deadly game had started 2 hours ago, and DOS had received $50,000 in his account. If he had stayed alive for another hour, the reward would have been doubled. But the problems were not over yet. As soon as he left the mall, another killer stood on his back with a knife. Because of the crowd, he could not kill him there. That's why he wanted to take DOS to a deserted place. At the same time, the first killer also reached there. When he saw that someone else was taking his prey, he immediately pressed the emergency button of the lift. Taking advantage of this disaster, DOS ran again. While running, he came out of the mall's warehouse. Then he saw a man in glasses in front of him. DOS thought that he was the third killer. He ran to the other side of the railing in fear. But the truth was that he was not a killer. Rather, he was the helper of the owner who was running the game. His job was only to remove the bodies and clean up the evidence. In this dangerous game, DOS had only one way: to keep running. Then a fast-paced cycle hit him hard. As soon as DOS stood up, he saw that the English killer was standing in front of him. DOS wanted to turn back and run, but the back road was also closed. The English killer took the weapon in his hand and slowly started to move towards him. Then someone's voice came from behind. DOS turned and saw that the police were standing there. The killer immediately hid his weapon and laughed. "We were just joking," but the police's eyes fell on the blood flowing from DOS's forehead. He asked, "Is this man threatening you?" The killer pointed at DOS with his eyes. He pointed at him to keep quiet. Because of the rules of the game, DOS could not tell the truth. That's why he also said, "Everything is fine." The police asked him to get his treatment done first. DOS slowly left from there. The killer could not do anything. Now this dangerous game had been 5 hours. There his wife saw that DOS's bank account had $10 lakh. DOS was standing on the roadside with a cycle and started running fast. But suddenly a killer with a beard fell on him in a deserted street. He took out a knife from his head and attacked DOS. DOS somehow escaped and ran again. While running, the killer's foot got stuck in the cycle wheel. He threw the knife and hit him, but the target was missed. DOS ran to the metro station while running. He thought he would be saved by sitting in the train. But on the platform, he again saw the English killer standing in the crowd. DOS immediately climbed into the metro box, tearing the crowd apart. This time too, he was saved by his hair. The rest of the passengers were also surprised to see his condition. Now he had no place to hide. That's why he went to a church and hid and started to rest. Then he saw someone's shadow outside the curtain. He thought that a killer had reached here while looking for him. He immediately came out. He dropped that man on the ground and started pouring water. Then the church priest came running and stopped DOS. Actually, that man had come to pray in the church. But DOS thought him a killer and beat him badly. That scared man immediately ran away from there. But DOS didn't know that the real killer was the priest of the church. The priest had already said. That's why all the doors of the church were closed with iron chains. Now DOS had no way to run. He had to fight helplessly. The priest picked up the hammer and attacked him. Because there was no experience of fighting, DOS kept getting beaten. Then the priest attacked again, but the hammer accidentally got stuck in the door. DOS tried to open the door by looking at the opportunity. But the priest again dropped him on the ground. As soon as the priest was about to attack, DOS quickly closed the iron door. His hand got stuck in the door. After that, DOS kicked him with all his strength. He immediately picked it up, closed the door and jammed it with an iron rod. But before going, the priest threw a hammer, which went straight into DOS' stomach. DOS took out the hammer with pain and came out of the church. As soon